another video. In this video, we are going to discuss about the infrastructure as a service. Previously, we discussed about the software as a service. Now, in a multi-cloud environment, organization benefit from using infrastructure as a service provider like AWS and the Microsoft Azure to quickly and cost-effectively develop and deliver the application. And that is true. Infrastructure as a service allows the organization to focus on application rather than managing the physical infrastructure because that is being managed by the provider itself. Now, shifting expensive from fixed to variable cost based and resource usage. So you don't have anything for the physical infrastructure means there is no fixed cost for maintenance and everything. You are only paying for the resources which you are using. Monitoring resource usage is essential for cost tracking and billing. Definitely, it's been already done by the AWS and Azure. And a virtual private cloud is an isolated virtual network within a public cloud. So basically there is a public cloud, and within that cloud there is a special or a private space for you. Now, AWS allows traffic between virtual private cloud within a region and between regions through VPC peering. But traffic cannot transit through a VPC requiring direct connection or full managed connectivity. If you do have a different region and if you are good with the cloud, then in order to communicate with one region to the another region with your infrastructure as a service, then you should be having a something called as a VPC peering. Alright, just peering will act as like a VPN so that you do have access to your applications in different regions. Now, Cloud OnRamp, so infrastructure as a service, extends Cisco SD-wan overlay network into the public cloud. How things works over here is a little bit different. So whenever you want to enable the connect to the infrastructure as a service, first thing is that you need to have a device template ready, two of them in your vManage. So I have already created that one. So if I just go back to the configuration and templates, and you see that vEdge infrastructure as a device template, and it is being attached to two devices. So currently they don't have any system IP, site ID, nothing, because once we connect the infrastructure as a service, Cisco SD-WAN fabric will deploy the two virtual routers on your cloud, which will be acting as a transit. So what happens is, like, whenever you're trying to connect to your infrastructure as a service, for example, that is an AWS. So the two templates which we are made ready for it, it will utilize those templates and it will deploy two vEdges, whatever the templates you have created. It will deploy virtual devices and it will assign those templates to these devices. And these two devices will be acting as a transit for your private cloud. So once these two devices have been deployed, and after that it will do a virtual gateways to your applications. So it will discover your application within the cloud. If you have a different region, everything it will discover and it will make sure that that is being connected, and it will manipulate or it will override in such a way that it will all the applications are now able to discover via the transit routers. Now, this eliminates the need for a physical data center, improving performance of cloud-hosted applications because everything is being on the cloud and it is virtual. It also addresses design and scalability issue by provisioning a transit virtual private cloud (VPCs) within the IaaS provider. So it is hosting one transit routers, both of them, both the routers on your private cloud, which will act as a transit to in order to communicate with your application which are hosted on your virtual private cloud. So which transport traffic between VPCs and campus or branch locations. Now there is a lot in here in infrastructure as a service. I have not given much of information over here, but since if you have a good idea about how cloud works, because cloud is again a different topic and a huge topic in order to know that one. But the overall idea is that whenever you are enabling the infrastructure as a service, definitely there will be two routers which will be deployed on your virtual private cloud, and that will be acting as a transit, and after that it will start discovering that one and you are able to see that one on your vManaged, that is on your SD-WAN Fabric. So let's go back to the vManage now. If I go back to the configuration, cloud on-ramp infrastructure, click on add new cloud instance. So now this option will be shown only if you have two device templates attached to the serial numbers. Otherwise, it will not show. If you select the Amazon, it will ask you for the API key, secret key, whether it is commercial or government cloud, or you want to go with IAM role, then you can provide the details over here. If you want to go with the Azure, enter the tenant ID, subscription ID, client ID, and secret ID. And once you have added all those information, it will now deploy two routers on your virtual private cloud, and after that it will take some time and start discovering your cloud. And once that is been discovered, then you will have an option in the over here you will get an option to discover your host. All right, so I don't have those credentials, so that's why I'm unable to show it, but definitely it's a pretty straightforward process. So I hope this was informative for you, and thank you.